brighten up those already bright mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lecter. Mornings at the Cabin.
There's the right intro. Mornings at the Cabin, indeed. It is an already bright morning. The sun is up at 4:15 or some damn thing. Every year, you don't get used to it, really, but here it is. You
almost have to be reminded of it.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Like,
every year.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
When I go to bed, it's going to be really light out.
This whole thing. Good morning. It's Friday morning. Wheeler, Lecter, AJ with you. Ollie is doing work. There's all kinds of news going on. And I noticed that, you know what? I didn't even remember this until this morning. I woke up and I was like, you know what? I didn't have a teen burger yesterday. And we were supposed to celebrate Teen Burger Thursday. Now, Lecter celebrated it on his own, like a jerk. Went to Teen Burgers. Went to Teen Burger. Went to Teen Burger.
Oh, that
got an A&W.
Got an A&W.
Sounds
burger.
like a fun club. Let's go to Teen Burgers.
Let's go to Teen Burger. Everybody's paired. Everybody's grouped in threes.
Hey, Mom, can we get a ride?
So I didn't have my Teen Burger yesterday, so someone's going out for Teen Burgers this morning. I'm just saying that. I'm not saying it's me. Not it. Not going for Teen Burgers, but
No,
someone
again.
is. Yeah. All right. AJ's grabbing Teen Burgers. Sack of burgers. Sack of burgers for breakfast. Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be fantastic. Friday morning down here at the cabin. We're having a good time. It's going to be a nice weekend. It's been a beautiful last few days. And again, we finally turned that corner. Possibly. It'll probably snow this weekend or something. I'm saying, I'm not trying to jinx anything. You go camping. You keep those camping plans. It's going to be beautiful. It really is. If I look at the forecast.
It's -1 right now.
It's deceptively cold. Get out there and enjoy the sunshine.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast.
Happy Friday morning to all of you out there. I hope you're having you know what? Stay in bed. It's bright, but it's deceptively cold. So just stay in bed. Don't go to work. Some of you are probably still working from home, so that's good. Last night, I want to tell you guys this. Last night I had a wonderful evening. I was meant to go hang out with somebody else. That didn't work out. And then ended up at the YK River.
Who's that somebody else?
Listening to Jimmy Taylor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Who's that somebody else?
Yeah.
Oh, it was after work. It was just like an after work thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was nice.
We were playing slow pitch after work.
I know. No, I totally forgot. And I don't care. I told you I'm injured. I got a pinch in my knee. My elbow is flaring up. I don't know what's going on with my elbow, actually. I'm actually kind of concerned.
Oh, my gosh, it's so pointy.
Shut up. It's pointy. Thank you.
Which way do you bat? You bat right?
Yeah, no, but I throw with my left.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Interesting.
weirdo.
Interesting. What a lefty.
Are you left-handed normally?
No.
No, sometimes
No, this is because of my injury that I'm leaning left.
Oh.
I'm joking. Yes, I'm normally left-handed.
Well,
yeah, for whatever reason. So remember when I was talking about, I was clearing up all the, dog poop out of my yard, but it was in March, so it's, chipping through ice and snow.
Right.
So I pulled something in my arm.
You got poop elbow.
What's that?
You got poop elbow.
I got poop elbow.
From scooping all that poop, that repetitive motion inflames the tendons and whatnot.
Repetitive poop disease.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, that's diarrhea.
That is diarrhea. That's right. Thank you for bringing that up.
All right, 7:14 in the morning.
Merry breakfast.
Come on.
Anyway, I pulled something and I felt it for a while, and then it went kind of away, and then I did some more cleaning up, and then pulled it again or whatever, and then since then it's been stiff as hell. And if I leave it, anyway, it's hurt, and I think I've got the arthritis.
I'll send our athletic therapist to come pay you a visit.
Sam Marriott?
Look at that elbow. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Actually, I texted her the day we found out that phase 1 was going to happen and what was going to be in phase 1. Before we found out what was going to be in phase 1, I actually texted her and said, my TMJ's flaring up. Do you do TMJ? And she's like, I actually have a lot of success doing TMJ. And I was like, great. When can we get together? She's like, probably next year. No, she's actually been very communicative with all of her clients about what she's doing and what can happen. I still have to wait a while because she's doing all the canceled ones first, right?
The waiting list.
That's right, the waiting list. Anyway, found myself out at the YK River with Jimmy T. Just playing some tunes. Apparently he just goes out there. He invites randos out there. He invited Ollie. And then I got invited by Robin Scott. And they were out there. And Jimmy was out there. Glenn was out there with his wife. And, it was nice. Just sitting out there.
Walsh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Just sitting out there around the fire, listening to some tunes. I got out there at 7:45. And he had been out there since 4:00.
Oh. Oh my goodness.
So we were out there till just after about 9:30. Yeah, just listening to him play, having some s'mores, not some s'mores, just like straight up melted marshmallows on chocolate cookies. It was great.
That sounds like a s'more to me.
It was great. Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, there was no graham cracker. AJ, if you're not going to contribute,
I'm just trying to get the facts here.
the facts. That's right. The facts of the evening. So that was really nice. It was like a little cool, but I mean, to be around the fire in a sweater, it was perfect for that. And it was wonderful.
Nice.
So, thanks to Jimmy T.
Well, my invite must have got lost in the mail, but that's okay, Jimmy.
Well, no, he invited Ollie.
I'm not Ollie.
I know.
I don't
he
know if you
invited
know
Ollie.
this.
Ollie didn't tell any of us. And then Ollie didn't show up. So, yeah. But Ollie's, well, I mean, Ollie, has this, the number one show in the NWT ever.
Yeah.
That he does.
He's
night.
a bit busy.
I don't know if you guys watch it, but seemingly everybody in the territory does. So, watch Cabin Corner, 7:00 nightly. I mean, it's got to be the most watched show and like most watched local program
in the history
of the territory. I mean, it must be
of Canada. I think actually.
All right, let's just relax. In the history of Yellowknife, other than say when televised bingo was on, and a lot of people watched that.
Yeah.
Oh, what about like CBC? Like the shows on CBC.
Okay, well that's produced by $1 billion corporation.
Yeah, but it's still
this
like
is
CBC
local,
North.
Independent.
That's not a fair comparison.
This is what I'm talking about. I meant like local and independent, not like local, but
Well, be specific, Jesse.
but subsidized by the taxpayers to the tune of $1 billion.
So local, but Randy Henderson, local guy,
Absolutely.
filmed it
Did
here.
not produce his own show. Like, I mean, he may have done production on it, but again, backed by the CBC. I'm talking about local, independent.
Obviously, I'm a fan of
But
Ollie's show.
very specific parameters on these ratings.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Well, it
The most
happened
popular
in
show ever.
Yellowknife, so I would almost say that the Amazing Race Canada episode in Yellowknife is probably more watched than Cabin Corner. It's like, okay, AJ, you got me. Go get a teen burger.
The highest rated television show in NWT history that is produced, hosted, and
by a British
by one person.
By a British person in the history of the territory. We have gotten off track. I just want to talk about my Thursday evening, how lovely it was.
That does sound lovely.
It was nice. So, I mean, next time he does that, and if I find out about it, or if any of us finds out, let's just go. Because, I mean, we can't go to the BK to watch him, and that was one of our favorite things to do, is go on a Saturday and have a few pops and listen to him play. So, listen to him play out at the river. It's beautiful. It was calm.
We're definitely not going to go to slow pitch practice, so my night's wide open.
I do want to go to practice. Last night I just didn't go. I forgot. Straight up.
And you're injured. And
I thought it was your elbow.
Well, it's a combination thing. It's a rich tapestry. But yeah, I mean that's something. It feels like something we should be doing throughout the summer. If we're not going to be able to go see it at BK, we'll go out and do that.
Well, I've been thinking about Jimmy T lately because obviously Monday night we're still running episodes of Northeast. But
Yes.
we haven't had a chance to record a new episode for quite some time now. So we've been pulling his favorites out of the vault, and I think we actually just played the Glenn Walsh episode this past Monday.
Oh, nice. That's great. We did.
And I was thinking about the other day. I was like, man, like it's good to hear that he's got this outlet at the Yellowknife River. He's just going down, for the sake of just being around some folks and playing some tunes, because I know that's where he's happiest. That's where he wants to be all the time. And it's just like, man, this guy hasn't played guitar and sang for anyone for months. Like, he must be like ready to explode by this point. But no,
Hence 4 hours. Of being down the river.
Down at the river. Yeah.
That's what he needs. That's what's pent up is 4 hours worth of performing. Yeah.
Here's every song I've ever learned ever.
Yeah.
And here's Wagon Wheel again.
Here's Lil Nas X, Old Town Road. You do the rap part. Okay.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast where we cut out all the great music and you're left with the rest.
Talking little Mac tools. I don't know if you guys read this story, but
we have a breach.
We have a breach in the security of the entire territory. A Mac Tools truck was seen in Hay River selling tools, and people were wondering, how the hell did you get in here, buddy? And it's like, well, he's not hauling drugs, so it's got to be harder for him to get into the territory.
Must have had to do some paperwork.
Where you from? Where you from, buddy? Here. What are you selling? Tools. All right. That checks out. So, if you guys don't know, there's a Mac Tools branded truck that comes up how often does he come up, AJ? You've got a little bit more experience with them than I do.
Probably
he comes to
quarterly.
Ford. Yeah, quarterly, and he sells like professional grade tools, stuff that may be hard to find here, but he comes up every few months and he comes by Ford. The mechanics all go out there.
Love it.
They love it.
Christmas.
It's like exactly.
Run
it's like
out the
Christmas.
door.
Yeah.
The Mac tool truck is here.
The Mac guy is here. So it was reported by a few people like wondering what the heck, like, because he obviously comes in from outside the territory. Is he self-isolating? What seems to be the issue here? Andrew Dreger.
Sure.
Dreediger.
One of the three.
Said he applied for a permit to enter the Northwest Territories and received approval. He said Mac Tools had told him he qualified as an essential service. So that, I mean, of course, it's like, listen,
Everything is an essential service.
it was true.
If you
Everything
can't
is-
trust Mac Tools, who can you trust?
But I mean, these are I can buy this more than I could buy some other things that are essential services. But like, because these are tools that you may not be able to find in the territory. He's probably able to sell them for a little bit cheaper than, say, like you going down to Edmonton to find these tools and coming back. Sure. So I mean, and like you said, he comes up every 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
And
I guess in a situation,
of course,
it could be essential. You're like, oh, I need this one tool. It's for an ambulance, something like that.
Well,
You know what I mean?
that's exactly
But
right.
that would be very specific.
Yes, but I mean, ambulances are pretty specific, and that's an essential service.
I just don't know how often that happens.
AJ, I don't like that you're saying that ambulances aren't essential. I don't like that you're saying that.
What has been implied here?
Yeah.
Just use your pickup truck. Throw them in the back.
So obviously the border's closed to anything but essential services, like food supply chain stuff like that, deliveries, and just essential goods, obviously. So there was some confusion. He did receive approval, from the NWT to do it.
Yeah.
But apparently they couldn't find it or something, and
Which kind of, by the quotes in the story, it sounds like someone on the other end of the phone just made it up on the spot. They're like, that guy. No, he's good to go.
because they lost the paper, they can't find the paperwork. They're like, Mac Tools. Is that what you said? Mac Tools. Yeah, no, that sounds familiar.
No, sorry, not tools. Drugs. Come on in.
Drugs. Where do they live? 123 Fake Street, Fort Smith. Yeah, I grew up on Fake Street.
So Michelle Taylor put this story together, and just the quotes are just magic on this story. Just from Andrew himself saying, quote, "I hope I didn't cause a whole bunch of ruckus and stuff." It sounds like you did, Andrew.
It sounds like
there's
you
a
did.
little bit of ruckus.
He sounds like a pretty laid back guy. I like that. I hope it didn't cause any ruckus and stuff.
He then went on to say the territorial government sent me a letter and they approved it for 90 days. I gave it to them guys at the border.
Yep.
They phoned somebody. They said, "Yep, it's all good to go."
So he had to go through more checks as a legitimate business. Apparently, had to go through more checks than a bunch of dudes in a Corolla coming up across the border
And it was
with
approved.
no explanation as to why they're there.
Yeah. Honest tool salesman.
Hey,
hold up. We got some questions
Hold
for
up,
you.
we got
Dishonest drug dealers? Go right ahead.
Okay, well, I mean, they didn't know they were drug dealers.
Or dishonest.
It wasn't as
true.
if they were holding a pack of cocaine on their lap, going like, "Well, I mean, it's baking supplies."
Are you lying to me?
Yeah, you
I
lying to
would
me?
never.
No. All right then. All right then.
Hey, honest tool salesman, you want to just tell a little white lie or something so this doesn't look so bad?
So we don't look terrible. So yeah, that's been kind of cleared up. But I mean, good on residents. Obviously, I mean, you never know who to kind of report. You never know what you're supposed to do. Like it feels odd. Obviously, reporting people, it really does. And like you look at that and you're like, well, I wonder. So you want to make the call. You want to be like, is this guy supposed to be
I guess
here?
it's good.
Yeah.
If you're not sure, you should make the call.
Well, exactly.
It's
if
just
you're not
funny
sure, yeah.
this situation.
Yeah, if you see something, say something.
Yeah.
But I mean, because you want to believe that, like, well, he made it across the border, so obviously everything's in order, right? So
Right,
I'll just turn around.
Yeah.
And but then you look over the parking lot. It's like, well, there seems to be a drug deal going down, and those are not people from here, I don't think. I mean,
BC plates.
BC plates. BC plates, exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's the only thing that tipped this guy off.
Yeah.
Another quote. This morning, I only tried to sell to a few shops. That's it, until I found out that I wasn't supposed to be there. Oh, they wanted me out of town so bad, so I left town.
Oh, wow.
Quotes. So if you don't like the drugs being sold in your neighborhood,
Just tell them to
just
leave.
say something,
Just say
and they'll leave.
Guys, listen. We all got to do business. I know. Hey, we're all struggling. okay? And I want to support local, okay? So if you guys could leave, I want to support my local.
We have local drug dealers.
Yeah.
We're trying to keep afloat here.
Yeah, they're just sitting at home
For
doing
goodness
nothing.
sake, I mean, have you guys never heard of Canada Post? You know?
I've met the guy. He's
He's a nice guy.
Nice guy.
Oh, he sounds like such a good guy.
Just
I
a
love
hard-working guy. Yep. Put on his hard hat.
Yeah.
I don't know why a truck driver would
You
wear a
doing?
hard hat.
I don't know
but
what you're doing there.
It's just part of,
him.
toolbox.
He's trying to relate.
Yeah.
I got you.
AJ's
Yeah.
trying to be relatable. That's why it's so odd.
Grabs his lunch pail and goes to work.
I love him.
Lunch pail. I want a lunch pail now. I want an old style.
An old Mac
school-
Tools lunch
Yeah,
pail.
little old style, old school style, like plastic lunchbox.
You'll have to wait for the Mac
with a
Tools
hologram
one.
of the
that's
He-Man
right.
universe on it. Or
Yeah,
something.
you won't be able to buy your Mac Tools one for.
All right.
But
a little while
Snap-on's
longer
coming to
now,
town.
but-
I think it's next month.
That's right. That's right. And they're set up at the border to shoot out his tires as he tries to cross.
Cabin Radio's Morning Show podcast. All the best chat, none of the embarrassing mistakes.
Without knowing precisely what's going on.
Without precisely knowing how to introduce the segment.
I always get it wrong. Without knowing precisely what's going on with Ollie Williams, we still don't know what's going on. We find out this afternoon. Katrina Knuckleby will find out her fate, as he said on the. Which sounds very dramatic because they vote whether or not to. Is it to kill her this afternoon? No, it's just no. Whether or not it's a vote of no confidence. So whether or not she still has a job in the ledge. Right.
So
At the
you
end of
do know precisely what's
Is that
going on.
Is that what's going on? I mean, kind of. I kind of know that part, but we still, again, strangely enough, have no clue why this motion was brought up.
Yeah, that is definitely still a rather large and somewhat odd hole in the knowledge that we have about this. We don't know why this is being brought forward. We can kind of guess.
A lot of
at
people
this
have
point.
theories, yep.
So it's not even about a lot of people having theories. A lot of people have theories about everything, and they're usually wrong.
It's because she's a part of the flat Earth conspiracy. Whatever.
Katrina.
So, Julie Green yesterday in the legislature had a bunch of questions for Katrina Knuckleby about what Julie Green perceives to be small businesses having virtually no GNWT support. Mm-hmm. That's not how the minister would characterize that, so they had a back and forth about that. But that might be one thing. Maybe that's one thing contributing to this. We still don't know if Julie Green is one of those people supporting this motion. We have no idea. Then last night, Ryland Johnson became the first regular MLA to directly address this. He had a constituency meeting that was not live streamed, but if you're a constituent, which I happen to be, then you can go and be a part of it.
Yeah.
And in that constituency meeting, he outlined that he does not support the motion and will not be voting to remove Katrina Knuckleby. More interestingly than that, he said he won't support the motion if it reaches the floor, which suggests that there may yet
not even get there.
They may yet back off it, whoever they is, which is ridiculous. You got 19 elected MLAs, and we can't even tell you who they is.
Whoever they are, Ollie.
Whoever they is.
I'm just saying, I don't want to cause a ruckus.
Okay. What's the rumpus?
Them
Ollie?
fellas
What's the
in the
rumpus?
legislature.
So we don't know who these people are. Now we will later on this morning. The chances are, so the timing of this is quite interesting. Fridays is when they sit in the morning.
Yeah.
Because it gives MLAs who have...
The afternoon off, so they can go out and enjoy the sunshine for the weekend.
If they're from Yellowknife, absolutely. If they're from further communities, then it gives them a chance to get home for the weekend and see people back wherever they normally live. So it's a morning sitting. Now, whether they will have their usual hour or so of Q&A first and then go into the debate that they have to have about this motion and then go to the vote. So if they do that, it'll probably be early afternoon by the time they get to it. They might choose to just kick off the whole, get rid of the whole Q&A thing.
Yeah.
And just go straight into the debate
Straight
and the
into
motion.
the meat.
In which case, it would take place a little bit after 10.
Okay.
And we don't know which one of those two options it might be. They could do either. Then, like I say, they may not do it at all. It may well be that whoever was planning on voting for this motion may have had second thoughts by now, given that it's not exactly been welcomed with a tide of support, and may decide, you know what, maybe not. This is clearly not going to succeed, which I don't think it will.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just a big waste of time. Now, the last time that a set of regular MLAs tried to bring two clearly doomed from the start motions to remove ministers, they went ahead and did it anyway, and it genuinely was a great big waste of time.
Yeah.
So we'll see if anybody's learned from that, and whether this... Because we already know. So they need 10 votes to get rid of this minister.
Yeah.
The minister only needs 9, because in the event of a tie, 9 and 9, the speaker breaks the tie, and the speaker by convention keeps the status quo, which means that he would defeat the motion to keep the minister where she is.
Yeah.
That is always the way that has worked. So the minister needs 9 votes to get to a tie, and then she's safe. Whoever wants to get rid of her needs to get to 10 votes because they are going to lose in the event of a tie. So they need, in other words, cabinet are going to have vote to support her, obviously. So that's 7 votes straight away. So Knockleby has then only got to get 2 more, of which we know Ryland Johnson is 1.
Yeah.
So then you got 10 regular MLAs left, and you only need 1 of those. And even Steve Norton, who brought the motion forward because he has to as chair of the committee, didn't exactly sound thrilled about it.
No, of course.
I'm pretty sure there's another vote in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's the end of that. So it's interesting to know. We may not even get this motion. The thing with that is, if we don't get to the point where there is a motion and we don't have this debate, we may never know who actually wanted this to happen.
I mean, we could probably make some pretty educated guesses. I don't think you should.
Guess.
I honestly don't know that you can. I can kind of think of people in my head who it might be. I honestly don't know for sure who any of them are.
Well, there's criticism about the small business thing, which we've seen on Facebook. There's obviously the Simpson situation where it's just like, you owe $2 million to this person in charge of it.
To take Julie Green as an example, right?
Yeah.
Julie Green yesterday, criticism of the whole small business thing. Really fierce criticism in Ledge as well. Well, she did that to Glenn Abernathy as well. And then probably turned around and said, actually, I quite like him as a minister. I'm going to keep him.
Yeah.
So there's no guarantee that just because Julie Green has issues about small businesses that she wants the minister gone. We just don't know.
What about the development aspect of it? So she's getting praise on a national level from minors, and there are a few people in the
children can't vote.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's right. The kids love her.
Yeah.
The kids love her.
Well,
Let's
that's
keep
great.
her. That's right. That's wonderful. But obviously, there's a few staunchly opposed to development in the north. You think that maybe have something to do with it? Can we just open the floor up for wild speculation?
I mean,
That's what we do here.
obviously, the infrastructure and industry minister never gets like the easiest of rides from people whose primary concerns are environmental, because that ministry is essentially. I mean, let's not forget the NWC used to have all of that in one ministry, which was RWED, which was environment and development, and
Let's weigh one against the other. It's my job.
There's a tightrope.
Yeah.
Let's try and figure out. So we're going to do this mine in the interests of the environment. So now at least there are separate ministries, which is a start. But infrastructure and industry, when Wally Schumann was in there, he faced the exact same thing. It kind of doesn't matter who the minister is.
Yeah.
Your infrastructure and industry minister is never likely to be anti-infrastructure and anti-industry.
That would be a tough one.
There's always going to be that tension between people who are elected with environmental interests as a priority in what they want to advance versus people who are, elected with mining interests.
Yes.
And it's not to say those are completely incompatible, but obviously you're approaching issues from different points of view.
Of course.
Depending on what you want the outcomes to be.
Which is needed. I mean,
that's the point, right?
Yeah.
That's great. We have a reasonably good balance in the legislature of people whose primary interests are ensuring the well-being of the environment and people whose primary interests are ensuring the well-being of the economy.
Yeah.
And then you hope that what you get out of that
It's a balance.
is a balance or a compromise. Now, the problem with the compromise is it can leave you just treading water and not really doing either of those things. The economy may not look great and the environment may not look great. It's tough, right?
Yeah.
The whole thing is tough. And I think that is kind of what this comes back to, is that is incredibly... We've just talked about that. In 5 minutes, we've illustrated that it's really not easy. And we've given that minister 6 months, 3 of which were a pandemic.
Yeah.
And now suddenly some people wanted to leave the post.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have said, well, we don't get it.
Yeah.
And Ryland Johnson last night said exactly that. He said, I've heard from people that they think this is stupid.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah. I wish politics was better, too. Trust me. Is what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So... there you go. We've heard from him. We haven't heard from anybody else. And I think the broader concern for me, like we were talking about yesterday, is not that it is not really Katrina Knockleby related. Like it could be anybody that we were seeing being part of that. It's more that if you're going to do it, at least tell us why.
Yeah.
And that is really strange. Kieran Testart, writing for CBC this morning, addressed that and said, look, there are these conventions that say if you've made this decision in camera, behind closed doors, you're not really allowed to talk about the discussion. But you are absolutely allowed to give the general public a sense of why you want this to happen.
Yeah.
There is no
performance
rule.
issues. They said it. Performance
There is
issues.
no rule that says like you can't reveal what your problem is until you get to the debate on Friday.
That's right.
You're perfectly entitled to talk about what you think about the minister and why you think this should be brought forward.
Yeah.
Which nobody has done other than Ryland to say, I don't support it, but he wouldn't go ahead and speak on behalf of other colleagues. He wouldn't say like whose problem this was, etc. So we'll just have to wait and see. But like I say, we may never find out. If they don't go forward with the motion today, the chances are we may never know who wanted this minister removed, and that's a bit silly.
Indeed. Well, thank you for clearing that up.
That's precisely what's going on.
That is precisely what's going on. We still don't know. We'll find out a little bit later this morning. When they do the Q&A, can we are we allowed to put a question in there? Can you put a question in there? Just toss one in there. It's like, what's everybody's favorite drink? Anybody? Just so we can Wine Ninja or Brew Wizard all of them.
Speaking of that, Katrina Knockleby did get Wine Ninja last night.
Yeah, she showed it. Very nice. Very people showing
Even
support.
though she wasn't on the list.
I know.
Those ninjas, they're very benevolent ninjas. They really,
So now in the Wine Ninja group, people are like, she's not on the list, guys. I don't like this
she's going to
at all.
get removed later on, right? People voted her out. She's getting wine without even being on the Wine Ninja list. Right. New minister in, Kevin O'Reilly. He's not going to get Wine Ninja. We're safe now.
Thank you, Ollie, for clearing up the unclear-upable.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
I'm going to wrap it up for this Friday with me and Lecter. AJ's over there with a little something that I found pretty exciting. A friend of mine who listens to the Bill Burr podcast mentioned that back in March, he thinks, I haven't been able to find this audio, but back in March on his podcast, he does a weekly podcast on Monday, the Monday morning podcast.
Okay.
And he does his, pretty much trademark rants every week about some sort of subject. And Bill Burr is hilarious, regardless of what you think of some of his controversial views on blah, blah, blah. He's very funny. And he said in one of these podcasts that Yellowknife is on his bucket list. He wants to come up here. He wants to do a show.
Oh.
And as soon as I heard that, I was like, well, okay, let's make that a thing. So I got to find the audio first. I'm going to find that audio. We'll do a break on it. I'm going to send it to him. And we'll see what happens.
How did they do? You haven't heard the
I
podcast
haven't been able to find which podcast it is because, like I said, he's got like dozens, right? You have to go through all of them. So I was trying to just find the clip itself.
Yeah.
So I'll have to go through some of his podcasts and find out exactly where it was.
I'm just interested as to how they got onto the topic. Like, how did Yellowknife come up?
I don't know.
Bill
I think they
world,
were just talking. I think they were just talking about travel, maybe.
Yeah,
right?
How does he even know about it?
Well, because he likes hunting.
Is he talking about this Yellowknife, or is he mistaking it for some other?
He wants to be up here.
Okay.
So they were talking about. I think they were talking about travel. He didn't go into the specifics of what they were talking about. He just mentioned that, like, this is what he said. Yellowknife's on his bucket list. Wants to do a show. He's a helicopter pilot. We got to hook up with a cast.
Is he? Wow.
What if he meant Whitehorse?
That would be so tragic.
That would be
tragic.
so Bill Burr.
That would be. Yeah, I've been Yellowknife over there.
Got beautiful mountains.
The YK one.
Yeah, whatever.
Right above BC, beautiful mountains.
Yellowknife. Yellowknife. So anyway, that's exciting because I love Bill Burr and love F is for Family. Can't wait for another season of that.
Yeah.
And so we tried and failed to get Weird Al Yankovic with no help from MLA Ryland Johnson.
He just bolted to politics,
even though he tabled the motion to get Weird Al up here, and we seconded it.
Well, I'm not much of a promoter.
It was just a warm up.
Guess I'll go into politics.
I guess I'll go into politics.
If I can't get Weird Al,
yeah, exactly. Well, now he's in a position to get Weird Al up here. Listen, the whole territory is in disillusionment and disarray. We need Weird Al here.
What better time?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could do a parody song about, no confidence votes. and set it to no scrubs.
I listened to that.
I don't want no confidence. No, that's no good. And something else.
We'll work on it. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll work on that. Yeah. We'll get back to you. But, I'll make it part of my mission at this radio station to beg Bill Burr to get up here and let's figure it out. Let's figure out how do we do it. Obviously, we got to wait until after all this is done.
A few obstacles.
But we'll get the hookup, right?
I would imagine Bill Burr, fairly successful stand-up comedian.
Fairly.
He's been around for a long time. He's probably made some money.
Maybe
he can afford to come up here and self-isolate for a few weeks.
That's right.
I think giving everyone a laugh is probably essential. I think that qualifies.
Essential service.
Yeah.
His main business is podcast.
Yeah, and get him out there on the lake. I mean, I bet he loves fish.
That's right. Well,
But-
seems like the kind of guy who would love fishing. Yeah. Doesn't he?
Yeah, he
Just
does.
ranting about it the whole time.
Although I think I've heard him rant about like not liking hunting. I don't think he likes hunting.
Okay, well, we don't have to go hunting.
Yeah, we don't have to. Okay, fair enough. Figure it out. We're gonna make it. Yeah, I think that would be awesome. We plead on it.
Play. Yeah. Yeah.
We send him the recording. We say,
Right.
listen, get your ass up here, you tiny little white man.
This is
Tell us
just
some
the start.
jokes.
This is the start.
Yeah.
We get a big name like this, and they really praise the name of Yellowknife
Yeah.
to the celebrity world.
And then Whitehorse gets an uptick
Boom.
in tourism.
Now, all
Yeah.
of a sudden, Whitehorse is booming.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, I think Bill Burr is the kind of guy that you couldn't just ask nicely. You got to like challenge him. You got to get
Yeah.
him fired up, get him angry.
Yeah.
That's what he thrives on.
What are you gonna do that, Bill? Huh? You gonna come up to Yellowknife? Huh?
I bet you won't come to Yellowknife.
Yeah. Bet you're not gonna come up here, are you, Bill? Huh?
You're not man enough, are you?
I like it. Let's do it. We're gonna get Bill Burr up here. We're not making any promises. It may not happen. I like it.
Long-term project.
Long-term project.
Yeah.
Maybe once we get on FM, because if he like listens to it, it's just like, what are you guys just on the internet? What kind of garbage is this?
Is anyone listening? I can say whatever I want.
I can say what I want. Bah, bah, bah. It's just be beep, 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 Bill. Bah, beep, 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 beep. Oh. That'd be amazing. I would love that so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's going to do it for us on Morning to the Cabin for this Friday. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend. It's like +2 right now, but it promises to get a tiny bit warmer and be sunny. So go out there and enjoy it as much as you can. Stay within your bubble. Stay within that top 5. And don't be a jerk.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca and by following the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page.